Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Thursday, May the 12th, 2022. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and this is Deb Lutz, affectionately known as Phoenix Suns fan number 1. Deb, I pulled out the whammy jammy on you. I dug way deep in my closet, found the closest to a Suns color as I could.
Wow, you did. You're
the old Italian reverse jinx on them.
It's the reverse jinx. You know what? Bring it. You need every bit of help that you can get because.
So first time ever with the orange shirt. Hopefully the last, unless it goes game 7, which I'm hoping, then we will have a repeat of the orange shirt.
It looks good on you. Maybe that's going to be, I can't shave my head and go bald a la Crash, but maybe I just make you wear that orange shirt for a month if the Suns pull it out tonight.
Yeah, well, tomorrow, unfortunately, I'm going to be the bald head because stinking Klay Thompson came out of the gate like rockets blaring. Oh. I thought it was in the tank, and then all of a sudden his team's down 50. So
what the heck? I know. I was actually at dinner last night. We watched the very end of the previous game and went to dinner. And as soon as I got back in the car, I looked it up and I'm like, wait, I'm like refreshing. I'm like, something's wrong. It was crazy.
Nobody expected that. That's for sure.
Wow. Yeah. Killed us on all of our DFS plays last night.
I mean, it really did. I mean, it just, you can't predict something like that.
No,
There's just no way.
No
way. But we're going to reset. We're here for today. We're excited. We have a great doubleheader. 2 great games that should both be extremely exciting. We have Miami leading the series 3-2, and of course, Phoenix leading 3-2. So both Miami and Phoenix have a chance for road victory closeouts. So that should be interesting. Now, I'm hoping down deep, since you have tickets for game 7,
right?
That you're just gonna slightly root for the Mavericks.
I will happily give up those tickets. I'll take it for game 7 the next series.
Deb, come on. All right, but anyway, we're excited. We're gonna hit the highs and low notes here. Try to get this out to you with some concise type of look at all these teams. See where we're gonna go, and hopefully we don't have any of these crazy, insane blowouts, so we can actually try to figure out what's going to happen here. So let's dive in. First of all, I'd like to thank our presenting sponsor. That is Prizepicks.com. Go to Prizepicks.com, sign up with the promo code CoachTalk, all one word, and they will match you dollar for dollar on that first deposit all the way up to $100. Got to grab. I know you've been hammering Prize Picks, so got to get after it here, no doubt. All right, game number 1, Deb. Miami Heat, Philadelphia 76ers in Philly. Philly's a 2.5-point favorite. It's a 207.5 total, 102.5 implied for Miami, 105 implied for Philadelphia. As far as, any possible injuries, we have the Miami Heat fiasco of ridiculous unbelievable that they're allowed to get away with this every game, but it's Hero, Martin, Strus, Tucker, and Vincent all listed as questionable.
Laughable.
We expect all of them to play.
Of course.
We know Kyle Lowry's out, which that hijinxed our Tyler Hero shenanigans last time around. But anyway, that's the situation there. Joel Embiid, Isaiah Joe, and Matisse Thybulle all also listed as questionable, which is also baloney. So I think, Deb, if you agree, we're going to look at this game as if everybody's in except Kyle Lowry.
I agree. Let's do it.
Okay. Let's take a look real quickly, and we'll get a little bit of a touch on this last game, although, it was a 35-point blowout by Miami. So how much can we gain from what we saw? Let's attack Philly first. We had Harris, Embiid, Maxey, and Harden all between 10 and 14 shots. So they were on pace to, all to get decent amount of shots, but it's not like they didn't play long. That's what my concern is here. They played 32, 33, 31, and 38 for Harden. So it's not like they just played 20, 25 minutes.
Right.
These guys played big minutes and did not get it done. But that group we would expect to be the core again, with the peripheral guys, your buddy Disco Danny Green, Matisse Thybulle. And after that, I don't know, Reed Korkmaz if you're really desperate. But what's your initial take? Are you sticking with that core four from Philly to choose from?
Yeah, I mean, this series has really been a tale of two cities, right? I mean,
Yes.
depending on where you play, that's the team that blows it out. So I don't expect that for this next game. I think Miami wants to really close it out and be done. I think they're, kind of they're seeing a Philly team that's just not quite coming together.
Right.
So I think this stays, really close. On the Philly side, I think it's time for Embiid to just, swallow his. I mean, I think he was such a sad sack the last game, and people were saying, "Oh, it's because he got slighted for the MVP." Well, you know what? Realize, Embiid, like the most important thing is winning a championship, not the MVP. So suck it up.
Though, that's a true story in my opinion, because he played his ass off the last month, played extra minutes, and I thought he totally got robbed. I think it is an absolute aberration that he did not get the MVP over the Joker. I think it's a joke. I think they should be ashamed of themselves for giving that to the Joker over him. And I do think it's going to have consequences. It did in the last game, and I agree with you. He needs to do that, but psychologically, I think he's impacted by this.
I do too. And he needs to turn it around. He needs to say, okay, you know what? Okay, I didn't get it. And, but just don't be a sad sack. Like, kind of, you got to move on. You got to move past it. Show that emotional maturity and, show that you're a winner. And he didn't do that the last game. So I think I think he does turn it around for this game. I think he's got to realize it's on the line. This is it. You're back in Philly. So I'm back on the Embiid train. I was on it last game, and it sunk me, frankly. The Embiid Chris Paul combination was, death. But I'm back on because it's got to be him. I mean, Harden, I think we saw again with Harden. I mean, he looked like he was going to have a really strong game and then just fizzled to nothing and has no leadership. I mean, that's the problem is without Embiid stepping up, there's no leadership on that team.
He never has had leadership, to be honest.
Yeah. So I'm on Embiid. I'm staying off of Harden. Maxi's price continues to come down because he hasn't quite been doing it. So I'm going to be back on, looking at Maxi again at 6,500 FanDuel, 6,400 DK. And that's it on Philly. I think Tobias Harris disappears when Embiid's playing. And those peripherals, man, I mean, I've been watching Niang every game, and this guy cannot hit the side of a barn. I mean, they brought him in to be a 3-point special. I mean, he's just, he's dreadful. Yeah. So, and no one's getting enough minutes. I mean, Paul Reed shows nice games, but that's really only, because he's the backup to Embiid. I don't think you can really trust what he'll bring you. Embiid should play, they should play Embiid 40 minutes tonight. So we'll see. You want to talk about Philly before I jump over to Miami?
Yes, because I could not agree with you more. We're exactly on the same page. Embiid's my favorite play on the slate. Number one. I think that everything we said is true. I think that game in Miami, he was completely shell-shocked that he didn't win MVP, and it meant a lot to him. And in Miami, the whole scenario there, it just was a disaster. He's back in Philly. I guarantee you that crowd, even in warm-ups, will be chanting MVP. They're going to show him a ton of love. And he's an emotions guy. So I think he steps up, and instead of sulking and playing poorly like he did in Miami, I think he wants to show the NBA, screw you, I am the MVP. And I could see him dropping 40 real points tonight. I think he's going to come out with a real attitude and play really well. I love him tonight.
Awesome.
And I agree with you completely. I think Maxi's price now is better We know that he's volatile and he can hurt you, but at that price, I think it's pretty safe. I agree completely there. Those are the only two guys from Philly that I have any interest in, and I'm probably going to play both of them in 100% of my lineups.
Okay. All right.
How about on the Miami
side?
Yeah.
Oh, so how about Strus? I mean,
oh gosh, don't say it.
Right? We play him every single game. He's always our last guy in, and he's done nothing the whole series until the game that I don't play him.
Well, we talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
If you listen back to the podcast from 2 days ago, we talked about Strus. And I even said, well, he may end up being my last guy in again. And I didn't do it.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
It hurts so bad. So, if we play him, it's going to be like golden goose here.
Totally.
So what are you going to do in this? First of all, I'll talk about the minutes a little bit, even though it was a blowout, so it doesn't matter that much. But Butler still got almost 35. PJ Tucker, 31, and he had been questionable coming in. And then your group of 27-minute guys, Bam, Strus, and Vincent, the other starters, they just played less because of the blowout. Hero was the one that just really didn't get it going in 21 minutes. And then the rest of the guys were all chumps. And Oladipo, I shouldn't say chump because he only got 18 minutes, but he got 10 shots up. We knew, he's going to gun when he's out there. So I think you can still count Oladipo and Hero and those starting five, which I loosely count PJ Tucker into as guys we can start looking at here. What are you?
Yeah. Don't fall into the PJ Tucker trap.
No.
He must have had his Wheaties before that game. I mean, what did he have, like 8 assists or something like that? I don't know if he's had 8 assists in 4 years.
It is a trap city. I mean, he hit 2 threes, 4 for 6 from the field, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, a steal, and a block.
That's crazy.
Those are his stats, I think, for the entire month of April.
Exactly.
Come on,
so,
man.
I'm not staying. I'm not
Trap
going to
City.
him.
Yeah.
I'm still not high on Bam. I think there's not a lot of upside. He may have a fine game, but against Embiid in particular, I just don't see him having any sort of breakout game. They're not going to him that way. It's really Butler. So Butler is still going to be the guy for me. I think he's got the heart of a lion and wants to close it out. So it's like the Butler Embiid, Embiid show. And I think those two have more, what's the word I'm looking for? Not heart. I mean, Embiid's got the heart. Butler's got the fortitude,
The competitive spirit of a
spirit.
Champion,
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think
and I couldn't agree more.
The more so than the guys in the next game. So I'm looking at Embiid and Butler. I will see if Hero or Oladipo fit in. I'll probably have one of them in my lineups. Vincent snuck in there as a decent play, but he also did get some minutes in garbage time. But he's one of the few real value plays on the slate. So I'll keep an eye on him. And and then Strus, man, I don't know. He maybe he's pumped up from the last game and he can keep it going. He's still pretty inexpensive on FanDuel in particular, 4,600. So I'm definitely going to keep a strong eye on him because, you flip it on the other side. Would I rather have a Strus versus a Kleba at the same price level? And Strus is probably going to be a little bit more reliable. So
it's just such I played Strus literally every single game of this series except the last one. So it's that, it really gets you in the gut. But I agree with you. I'm maybe we're going to be chalky with these original plays.
Sorry about that.
It's Max Strus. Max is calling.
That's right. I think it was Maxie. It was Maxie saying, "What? You're dissing me?"
Yeah, he's playing the wrong Max. The bottom line is, chalky or not, I'm with you 1,000,000%. I'm going Embiid and Butler and just riding that into the sunset, making everything else work around those two guys. I think it's just the way to go. And we've disagreed on a lot of these, but these two were right in step. And then it's hard with the bench here. I mean, again, I'm not falling for that Tucker game. But Strus, Vincent, and Hero and Oladipo, those four, I've got a feeling I'm going to have to dig in and probably take 2 of those 4 to make the salary work. Yeah. So those are the guys I'm considering as of now. I think they're all playable. And then we'll see what happens. But we'll have those picks. By the way, if you want to get more information on this game, we'll be posting a lot of stuff in Discord. And to join us, very simple. You go to dfscoachtalk.com. You can sign up for as little as a 3-day pass for $10. And you'll get Deb and I's picks tonight for the NBA, full lineups on FanDuel and Yahoo, and then core group for DraftKings. So when you sign up too, you get all of our sports, all of our PGA, which tomorrow we'll have weekend only lineups posting, all of our MLB. There's 3 different MLB slates today. So just jump aboard. We'd love to have you. dfscoachtalk.com. All right. The reverse jinx orange shirt comes into play in this game. It is the Phoenix Suns and the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas staring elimination in the face. So we'll see what happens here. Phoenix is only favored by a bucket, and it is a 211.5 total. So 4 points higher than the other game. Both teams about the same spread. So it's, take your best guys. Don't let the spreads, totals, or anything bother you here. 106.75 implied for Phoenix. 104.75 for the Dallas Mavericks. Nothing Phoenix reporting. Tim Hardaway, we know he's been out most of the season. Everybody else is a go, all hands on deck. And man, I don't even know what to say about that last game. It was a travesty of justice, as I say. But Phoenix just knocked the living snot out of them, and that was the end of that. So, I don't know what repeats here. Dallas certainly plays a million times better at home. So we'll see. What is your feelings on the Phoenix Suns, since you are the number one Suns fan?
Yeah, thank you. I love that number. I'll take it. Number one Suns fan. Yeah, what's tough is that I look at Booker, I look at Paul. I think they're priced fairly. I love them. I love them in the game from a DFS perspective. I don't love them, and I'll tell you why. I mean, Paul. Dallas has Paul's number. He's not playing to the level that we've seen him be able to play. No. And even when he tries, you can tell sometimes with Paul, like when he's really motivated and he's bringing it, they're shutting him down. And and so I think he's just got to get crafty and rely on others. And he's been doing that so far. And so therefore, I just don't think he justifies, the DFS number. So I'm not going to go to him. And Booker, as much as I love Booker, he's so points dependent. And again, against this stingy D of Dallas and in Dallas, I just think that, when you look at a Butler or an Embiid, frankly, Embiid's price is even closer to his. I think you're safer there. So I'm not going to go for the high priced guys, but there's a lot of value on Phoenix. I did go with Bridges in the last game. I also went with him in the prize picks over 1.5 steals and blocks. Yeah. That smashed. I mean, he had 4. Yeah.
Four steals. Yep.
Bridges is the key to the team. He's the energy guy. He does the intangibles. And I think Monty's realizing that, and they got him more involved in the last game, and it paid off.
And he's their best defender too.
Yeah, far and away. So I'm going back to Bridges. I like him, 5,700 on DK. And then Ayton. I mean, back to Ayton again. Depending on what I do now, Embiid does qualify for power forward, so that helps. But can you get him in at his price point? Can you get in? Ayton's a little bit. He's 7K, and the question is, can you get in a Butler and an Embiid and an Ayton all into one lineup?
But I have a question to ask you, not to interrupt you, because I'm still scratching my head. Bismack Biyombo, the first big off the bench, and he played as many minutes as DeAndre Ayton?
I didn't get that. Yeah. I did not get
What
that.
was that
Where'd that
all
come
about?
from, right? I know. I don't know what, I saw that McGee had the 2 fouls, but then they never brought him back again.
I put McGee in my lineup, and
I
it
know.
was over. It was
I
over.
know.
He played 3 minutes and got 1 shot up. But I mean, I was stunned that Biyombo was the backup center. There was no news of that anywhere.
Well,
And
they did the same thing with Shamet. He became the backup point guard
yeah, instead of Payne. Payne played
instead of
3 minutes
Payne.
at the end as well. So I don't know what that was. Is it going to continue? But it makes you think: are Shamet or Biyombo playable?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what do you think?
I agree. I think, boy, you know what? I don't know. I don't know. The McGee one is more confusing to me. The Shamet one I get because Payne has not played well the entire series.
No.
I think they like Shamet's size against the backcourt of Dallas. And so I mean, Shamet I can see. And I do think he's playable. Biyombo, I mean, who knows? Maybe I didn't see anything. Was McGee sick or injured or
I
nothing
don't
about
think
that?
so. I mean, they put him in at the end for mop up. I mean, last couple of minutes, I believe. And
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I don't know I don't know what the deal was there, but Biyombo was pretty decent. And
Yeah.
if he's going to get over 20 minutes again,
Yeah.
he's so dirt cheap. But then you just wonder: is he going to go back to McGee this
I
time? I
know.
don't
I
know.
know.
I
We
don't
need
even know what to
to,
recommend there.
I think we need to check in and on the Monty, the Monty interview and
I don't
hear
think
what
he's
he's
going to
got to
tell
say.
us. That's the
Mm,
problem.
yeah, yeah. Sneaky. It was sneaky.
So
That was, I mean, it
maybe
was a,
just fade all that hassle. But DeAndre only played 22 minutes, Deb.
yeah,
And I mean, I still think, and we've said this every stinking game, there should be a game where he just dominates and blows up the slate.
right.
But 13 shots in 22 minutes. I mean, for your number one center.
He didn't have to play anymore is part of it, so
Well, maybe because it was a blowout,
yeah.
that could be. If that's the case, and you look at his stats throughout, maybe Ayton's the best center play.
Yeah. Yeah, he still gets his 30. I'd love to know though, and maybe someone like a Biyombo is a flyer for a GPP because he could smash it. And particularly against Dallas's front court, getting those rebounds. I don't know what Monty saw. It'll be real interesting to understand afterwards, but
Right.
it's a gamble, that's for sure.
Yeah.
In my core lineup, I will not be going with him.
Okay.
I do like Cam Johnson a lot. I
Yeah.
think 4,400 on FanDuel, 4,500 on DK. He's part of their core. He's the sixth guy. I think he's kind of got it going again. He sort of had some foul trouble and felt a little lost, but I think he'll be solid. Crowder's the other guy. I mean, he, obviously he might be a little dinged up though. So between Cam and Crowder, I probably won't take both. And I'm leaning a little bit towards Cam for this game, even though Crowder's been amazing against Dallas.
He has, but I think you're right. Remember when he limped off the floor, went to the locker room with that ankle, or it didn't even look like an ankle, it looked like an upper leg injury or lower leg injury of some sort. He came back and hit some threes, but I think that was just adrenaline.
Yeah.
I do think he's dinged up. 1 for 6 in this game.
Yeah.
And Cam is going to take some of those minutes, in my opinion. So for the first time in this series, I'm going to fade Crowder. I like Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges better, and they're both pretty affordable.
Yeah. I think they're going to work in the lineup. So
that's where I'm at. I agree with you completely on Chris Paul. I know he's a vet. He's awesome. He did have 10 assists, but he also had 4 turnovers again. And Reggie Bullock is a dog, man. He is a dog. And he is really pounding on Paul. So I'm not going to go there either. I wish I could afford Booker because I do think he's, by far the leader on that team scoring wise with everything else. He got 20 shots up again, but I just don't think I can afford it. So I'm leaning Ayton again, and I hate it, but it is what it is. I still think he can have a deciding slate kind of game.
Yep. All right. We're pretty similar so far. Let's see about those Mavs.
I know we're right on the same page all over the place. Mavs, who knows? Reggie Bullock 0 for 5 from the field. So as much as he's going to play his 35, 40 minutes and his all hands, this is an elimination game. He may play 42 minutes just to guard Chris Paul. But, if you're going to play him, you expect a little contribution. I mean, 0 for 5 is not going to cut it. It may scare everybody off. I still think he's a legitimate, cheaper play. If he had to go there, just, again, you can't roster everybody with salary. Finney Smith played his 37 minutes, again, only 6 shots up though. It became so much of a stand around and watch Luka go one-on-one or stand around and watch Brunson go one-on-one. I mean, that's not going to win any games for you. They did combine 19 for 40, Luka and Brunson. So as bad as it went, they both played 35 minutes and combined shot 50% from the field. So they're both fantastic plays again, but they're both expensive. So, but it's in Dallas and it's an elimination game. Dwight Powell, useless. Please don't ever play Dwight Powell. I've been saying that for multiple games in a row. Maxi Kleber is playable. He's going to get 25 to 30 minutes, and he normally knocks down some of those shots. I told everybody don't play Dinwiddie. He's nothing but a backup to Luka in an emergency situation. Bertans, again, he's going to hit a couple threes. That's not going to pay the bill for you. So nobody else is playable. It comes down to very simple. If you spend up all the way to Luka, or you spend up to Brunson, or you get somewhat of a break and go Bullock or Finney Smith or Kleber. Those are the 5 guys you can consider. I don't know if I can get to Luka in this. My ranking right now is Embiid, Butler, and then Luka. If I can make it work, I will. If I can't, then I'll go to the secondary of Brunson, because although Luka's going to blow the stats away, Brunson gets his share. Yeah. So that's the decision. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I'm in a very similar place. Given the other guys that we've been talking about, I'm not going to have the money for Luka. Although I think, at home, this is an elimination game. I think Luka's going to have the ball in his hand. His usage is going to be off the charts.
Yeah.
But I just can't justify the extra 2K basically to, from some of these other guys. So I am probably not going to be on Luka. I'm going to look at it. But I think what it means is, I think if I go with Luka, then you really can't get in sort of that third guy who's kind of a superstar. So I do like Brunson though. I mean, I think we've seen, he had a couple of bad games. One of them though was due to foul trouble. I think we see he's the next go-to guy. He's more reliable. He doesn't, it's not all about just hitting the threes. He does more. And, at 6,300, that's not a bad price. Again, I keep saying it, it's Maxey or Brunson, right? I mean, those guys are basically the same price, similar games, and so the question is who's gonna show up bigger. And, I think Brunson is a little bit more, Maxey's kind of, the third guy on that team, and right. Brunson's definitely number 2 on this team.
And you're referring to Tyrese Maxey, not Maxi Kleber, just in case anybody.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Tyrese Maxey.
You don't want your phone to ring again. And
no, that's
Tyrese
right.
Maxey.
Tyrese Maxey. Yes. I don't see Brunson and Kleber having much in common. No.
I'll tell you what though, Deb, I think it's going to be site specific. I've messed with it, and on FanDuel, I can make it work. And it's not pretty, but I can make it work with Embiid, Butler, and Luka, but by the skin of my teeth and with some hold your nose and, but on DraftKings, it's not possible realistically. Yeah. I mean, I guess anything's possible if you want to play guys that aren't going to get in, but, and Yahoo, it gets a little tricky as well. So some of it will be site specific, but like on Prizepicks, for example, I have no problem playing overs on some of the Luka stats, because I agree with you. That 40% usage insanity that he's had in certain games in the playoffs is probably going to be prevalent today. So, I think that's where it's going to get interesting. But he can't win the game alone, and he needs Brunson, Maxey, or Bullock Smith, somebody to step up and really, pop in 20-some points and give him some assistance. There's no doubt. That's the only way.
All right. Hey, before we move on to prize picks, there's one guy I did forget, and I wanted to ask your opinion.
Sure.
Dead minimum Deadman. Do you? I think when they pull Adebayo out of the game, you need somebody with size against Embiid. As we've been talking about Biyombo, McGee, do you consider a Deadman who is real cheap?
I mean, as a last guy in, if you're trying to make like a Luka, Butler, Embiid lineup work, I think, it's safe that he'll get decent backup minutes. So I don't think it's the worst play. I actually probably would rather go there than with this Biyombo McGee fiasco.
That's what I'm thinking.
But I mean, I'm not racing to do it. And after coming off that, getting punched in the face with the McGee play last time, I'm hesitant. But
so you're not building your lineup. You're not building your lineup around him, huh?
No, but I think he's reasonable. I mean, he's going to come in the first quarter for Bam and get his shifts. And if Bam gets in foul trouble or something, it could be a great play. He's a veteran, and he knows what to get done. But again, there's risk involved when you're playing bench guys, because you could get 8 minutes, you could get 20 minutes.
Exactly. All right, just curious. Okay, so
Prize Pick City. Yep.
Let's see what I got here. Why don't you go first while I'm looking mine up?
I will go first. Points, rebounds, and assists over 37.5. Joel, I'm the real MVP, Embiid.
Nice.
I'm still, that's my mantra today, is he comes out with an attitude.
Yeah. You and I are both all in on him. I agree. Yep. All right. Well, we talked about it. I've got Reggie Bullock under 15 points, rebounds, under 15.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Again, I don't think he gets much. I don't think he's the go-to option by any means. And I just think he's been relatively soft against Phoenix throughout the season. And so I'm going to stick with that.
I think it's reasonable without question. I'm going to take one that I just can't pass up. It's over a half a block shot for DeAndre Ayton. I mean, I think he gets the extra minutes this game. All he needs is one stinking block.
Come on, right?
and here I am putting all my chips in on a guy that I don't like. But I mean, Dallas is small. Brunson drives, Dinwiddie drives. These guys get in there with the big boys and try to finish at the hoop. And we know Harden does. Yeah.
Show everyone that he's worth his money.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's a pretty safe play personally.
Yeah, I like it. Well, with my second one, I'm going back to Bridges at over 1.5 stocks. I mean, he delivered big time for me last one, and I think he'll do it again.
Yeah, you should have got paid double because he went over double.
Exactly, right?
Yeah. All right. Well, That is it, Deb. This could be the end of the run here.
Oh.
Or we can have have the orange shirt on in a couple days for Game 7 with you there.
I'm hoping for the former, not the latter. Sorry.
I'm not. I'm taking all
good luck
positive.
Tonight.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. Great job, by the way. Thank you also to our presenting sponsor, certainly Prize Picks. PrizePicks.com. Use that promo code Coach Talk. Get up to $100 match on your first deposit. And come join us, dfscoachtalk.com. If you want to catch us on Twitter, you can follow all of us at DFS Coach Talk. Deb, your Twitter?
It's Deb Lutz 33.
Deb Lutz 33. And I am at Joe Sarvadi, JoeSarvadi. All right. We'd love to hear from you. Give us a thumbs up here on the way out. Certainly, if you can, we'd really appreciate that here. That makes a big difference for us on YouTube. So give us a nice thumbs up, even a little comment. Hit that subscribe button and click the little alert in the upper corner there. We've got PGA and an MLB podcast posted today, and then this NBA one will follow. So appreciate everybody listening in. Good luck on the games tonight, and hopefully we'll be back, Deb and I, in a couple of days for Game 7. We'll see how it works. But have a great day. Enjoy your Thursday. Thank you, Deb. Reverse Jinx is in action.
No.
And we will talk to you soon. Have a great one. We'll be back tomorrow when we look to crush it in NBA, DFS, and Prize Picks.